Question: who were you before the world told you who to be or how to be? Who to be to feel pretty or to be seen? Before you cared about what it took to be accepted, what did you love to do? What did you want to do? We live in a world that is begging for authenticity but praising aesthetics. So, in a world that is so loud, how do we find our own voice? Hey there, loved ones. My name is Sonia Star J, and today's topic is going to be finding your own voice. So, if you are new here to the channel, be sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell button so that you never miss a video or an upload, okay? Join the community. So, I just learned that there are 33 million people who are addicted to social media. It is reported that 10% of the population has a problem detaching from their cell phones. And I won't lie, I'm in that number. But there are actual lawsuits coming out about people being impacted by social media and the algorithms. It seems as though social media is impacting people's mental health on a very large scale. So it left me to question that if so many people are having this issue with detaching from their cell phones and being obsessed and addicted to social media, how do we know which of our thoughts are our own? Especially with so much exposure to other people's lives and other people's opinions. There's a girl on TikTok and she does like this skit parody where she gets in the car and she sits with her friend and her friend doesn't speak TikTok. And I think it's very funny, but then it also makes me think that why do we even have a social media language? And I'm like completely guilty of this because I am a TikTok person. Like I'm a TikToker. I know all the TikTok trends and the sounds, and I'll come back and I'll talk to my husband and he's like, girl, what are you talking about? And so it's made me question, like, is this a problem? And the fact that Gen Z and a lot of us millennials as well, our news source is social media, or we get a lot of our news from social media. I don't know too many people my age who sit around watching the news. But even with that, the media is still the media, so things can be altered and edited, but still made very believable, especially now with AI. And on top of that, a lot of people lack critical thinking skills and refuse to do their own research. And because of this, they take the things that they see and hear at face value. Not having your own voice comes with its challenges. You can start trying to implement things that you see on social media into your friendships and relationships. We see and we hear about this all the time. We've seen this with the girl Cooking with Kaya. There were girls online who were actually getting upset with their partners if they knew who Kaya was. If they did the trend Cooking with Kaya and their boyfriend or partner knew who it was, they had an attitude. These people do not know that woman. Women were actually cooking for their men like Kaya so that Kaya don't take their man. Kaya ain't worried about your man, girl. And even if that was a joke, there may be people out here who really do that, who request things in their lives and in their relationships just because they see someone online with them. So stop and ask yourself, is this something that I truly desire? Is this something that I really believe? Is this my voice? Is this coming from me? Because this can really happen at a subconscious level. Even with careers, people will go and try to get into a field just because they see someone online doing it. Now, they may have no desire to do this, no skill to do this, but just the simple fact that they seen someone else do it or heard it could be lucrative, they decided to try their hand, which makes total sense. But for example, the MLM, the digital marketing schemes. Now, I don't want to get into it, but across all social media platforms, you will see the digital marketing girlies talking about how much money they're making and why you should do it too. They make so much money in just a few days, and all you have to do to get the same results or to buy this course and resell it. Who knows what is in this course? But it's pandering to people who are desperate. These people people are afraid, they're desperate, they're trying to figure out how they're going to afford these eggs in this economy. Now, as a content creator, I found that being chronically online was causing me a lot of stress, because to be honest, when I did get online, I wasn't aware of the wall that needed to be created between myself, my mind, and the social media and the things that I was absorbing into my subconscious mind. And it wasn't until I watched that Netflix show, I can't remember the name of it now, when they talked about how they use the algorithms and social media to really psychologically control us. And then on my journey of becoming a content creator, I would watch different videos of people who were talking about the things I want to talk about or in my niche. And it made me feel like, well, if I'm going to be successful, maybe I need to talk like this, or maybe I need to talk about that. Maybe I need to become a certain person in order to make a certain amount of money. And in doing so, it made me abandon my own personality, my own voice, and my own creativity. Because when I was really honest with myself, I didn't care about none of that. I just wanted to create. I just wanted to have fun and have my voice. The thing that makes you truly stand out as a content creator is having your own unique voice. Or if you're just a creative in general, or if you're someone trying to become a business owner, you have to have your own unique perspective. I remember back in 2020 when I first started trying to do the whole social media thing, and my friend said, "You are your secret sauce." And I'm like, "What, girl? Am I ranch or honey mustard?" But in saying that too, a lot of people who are content creators, like writers, bloggers, YouTubers, they're concerned about AI. But the one thing the AI can't do is be you. Well, at least for now. But if you are someone who's trying to become a content creator, or you're trying to express yourself creatively, it can become overwhelming to figure out what to focus on or even what to talk about. You might try to talk about what's trending because that's what you're told to do. Because once the algorithm gets a hold of the fact that you're trying to grow on social media, that's all you'll see in your algorithm. In order to grow on YouTube, you gotta do this. In order to grow on TikTok, you gotta do this. In order to grow on Instagram, you gotta do this. Why can't you just be yourself and let the people who are going to find you, who are meant to find you, find you? Now, it may take a little bit longer because you're not following the trends, because you're not trying to do what everybody else is doing. So you have to be prepared for that. But I found that the thing that will make you the most successful and the most fulfilled is doing what you love to do the way that you love to do it. When you do what it is that you're passionate about, you'll stick with it because that's something that you can stay consistent with. So my suggestion, if you are somebody who's trying to grow and trying to cultivate your own sense of style or your own voice or just your own way of living, unless you are looking for inspiration, limit how much content you consume on your journey. Because when you overconsume, it can cause you to start second guessing your own sense of style and your own thoughts. When I have a really great idea, I will make sure that I go and write it down as soon as I think about it first, before I go and listen to a new podcast, before I open up my social media apps, because I don't want anything to influence my idea in the way that it creatively flowed from me before I get the chance to really think about it and flesh it out on my own. So make sure that you standing on business about yourself and your own ideas, and don't get discouraged. I know right now Queen Doechii is on the tip of everybody's tongue, and I am so inspired by her as well, especially as someone who's doing YouTube and has been on the YouTube journey and has been a creator for years. But what inspires me the most about Doechii is that even with her success and her fame, she's literally still herself. She's still on TikTok in her bonnet or with her natural hair, talking to people like regular people. She showed us her entire journey from when she started this idea and she started her channel doing hauls and doing tips for moving into a new place, to then showing us the journey of her developing her creativity and really honing in and defining it for herself. And to be able to go back and see that process, and then to now see her at Paris Fashion Week looking good, is such an amazing inspiration. One thing that I have struggled with on my journey of being seen, being visible as a content creator, social media personality, is imposter syndrome. I seen Balance Less say this on Threads today. She said, I don't believe in imposter syndrome. And I was like, damn girl, I can't wait to get there, because I'm trying to overcome my imposter syndrome. And when you're on the journey of cultivating your own voice and growing in your own lane, finding your own lane, you can feel a little of that imposter syndrome along the way. Now, I know we just toss around imposter syndrome, or we just expect for people to know what that is, but imposter syndrome is a psychological phenomenon, and the thing that happens to some of us that makes us discredit ourselves, discredit our skills, discredit our creativity. It causes us to convince ourselves that we're a fraud and not someone worth listening to or watching, as if we don't have any value. And when we start to feel this imposter syndrome, we can then make the decision for our audience of who we are. We then determine this for our audience before they even get the chance to make the decision for themselves. If you haven't quite developed your own sense of style or your own voice, or really grown in the lane or niche that you want to be in, you may feel as though the people that you're listening to or watching are more equipped or more qualified to talk about the things or showcase the things that you want to talk about. And that might not always be the case. It may just be that you need to refine your message a little bit better to fit for you. On my content creator journey, and even in my professional life, I've counted myself out. Like when I'm going for a new role, why would they hire me? I don't have a master's. I don't have this certification. And then I get the job, and it's like, oh, why did I get the job? Because my specific set of skills and expertise is what was needed for this particular role. So same should go for you. Don't count yourself out before the other people get to count you out. Go in there with that bold level of confidence and audacity that you see people who know half as much of you have. Don't count yourself out because you don't have something or because you think you don't know something. Now, if you're trying to do something that requires an extensive level of education, like a doctor or a lawyer, then, well, sure. But if you're going for a position like a manager or even something in IT, learn to apply the skills that you already have to the role that you want. And that goes for any role in life. But in content creation or online, your story and your experiences are what make you unique. It's what makes you stand out from other people. It took me 5 years on YouTube of delivering my message and getting comfortable and being uncomfortable and refining how I wanted to show up and really getting out of my head and getting over the cringe and getting over the fear of being seen to feel comfortable to deliver my message. Also, I got a mic. But I had to really take some time off and really remind myself who I am. But even though I know all of my expertise and all of the ways that I've helped people with the knowledge that I share, I still tend to psych myself out sometimes. So even if you get afraid that people are going to question you, even if they do question you, your expertise is still valid. Stand on that. At the end of all of it, you just have to believe that you are deserving of what it is that you're asking for. Believe that you know what you know. And truth be told, there are people out here that know way less than you and are probably less creative than you and are doing way more because they think so highly of themselves. I'm still trying to tap into that mindset. That level of audacity is admirable. But the more you remind yourself of it and learn to quiet the voices that have maybe spent years telling you that you weren't good enough, telling you all of the things that you aren't, you will begin to accept yourself for exactly who you are. So thanks again, loved ones, for joining this conversation with me. And if you enjoyed this conversation, please do me a favor and go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. And if you are somebody who is currently working on their self-acceptance, I have a video discussing that I would love to share with you right here. Bam. Type of shit I'm on, you wouldn't understand.